I want to help you with your waste hauling business. I had one, I grew it, was very successful, had a lot of fun, but then I sold it. So in my case, I did not want to work for corporate America anymore, and I said, hey, I'm going to work for me, because I've worked for lots of idiots, and I'm done with that. I'm going to work for myself.
This is Waste to Wealth, a podcast about turning your waste hauling business into a profitable, scalable, cash-flowing machine. And now, here's your host, Michael McCall.
My name is Michael with Buffalo Finances, and this is Waste to Wealth. I want to help you with your waste hauling business. I had one, I grew it, was very successful, had a lot of fun, but then I sold it. I wish I was still doing it, but had to make some really important family decisions. I don't know if you've had to do that kind of thing in your life. Have you ever had a midlife crisis before? You have to be old enough to have a midlife crisis. I recommend you have a midlife crisis or even a quarter life crisis because they force you to do drastic things, important things. In my case, I did not want to work for corporate America anymore, and I said, hey, I'm going to work for me because I've worked for lots of idiots, and I'm done with that. I'm going to work for myself. And it turns out that that was really hard to do. I don't know if you do any really hard things on purpose. Maybe you love challenges, maybe you hate them. I particularly love challenges. So today I want to talk about things that waste haulers are dealing with because there's a lot of problems in the waste hauler world. Of course, while I'm doing that, I'm thinking, where's the best place to find questions for waste haulers that waste haulers have? Well, let's check it out. So let's go on to Facebook groups. I'm a part of a bunch of waste hauling groups, like roll and roll-offs. And they have some cool events coming up. There's one going to happen in Florida next April. No, February. There's one in February. And then there's one in April, which is going to be in New Orleans. There's a lot of, so I'm happy to plug those. If you know about them, let me know, and I will plug those for everybody. Trucks. Everybody wants to know cool trucks. There's Peterbilt, Kenworth, Mack, Volvo, Freightliner, Western Star. What is your favorite kind of truck? I like the Mack trucks, but I've found that Mack trucks have become a dealership truck over the last, 20 years. It used to be where it was really easy to fix. They're bulldogs, which means they're tough. But now you really got to bring them to the dealership. And I'll blame the current iteration of that on Volvo, because Volvo, it's a European company, I think Spain, could be wrong about that. And Volvo's great for over-the-road trucks. They got great OTR trucks. They got nice sleepers, got that really streamlined body. And they want to have a lot of the same components in their Mack trucks ever since they bought Mack. So they've been blending them. And they put the engine in a ridiculous place where it's really hard to get to. So you really have to have a shop in order to fix anything inside the engine. Unless you're an insanely good mechanic, and I know some really good mechanics, but you got to know your truck. And if you don't understand a Mack truck, then you're not going to be able to fix it, which is my case. I can't fix that truck. Now, Kenworth's and, what's its sister company? The Packard engine. Peterbilt. That's who it is. Kenworth and Peterbilt, they're the same company, same type of engine, but they're different brand names. So I think those are more American, as much as I love Mack trucks. The Kenworth and the Peterbilt, very American. And the Freightliners and the Western Star, they're the same company, but the Freightliner are the cheap versions. So if you're a big company and you buy 10 Freightliners, you can probably get 5 Peterbilts. So they're like the budget truck. And it's hard to beat that because if I can deploy twice as many vehicles for the same price, I'm going to do that, I think. The challenge is that Freightliners break way more, and the DEF systems suck on them so bad. They suck on all the trucks, but they're particularly bad in the Freightliners. I've been stranded many times in a Freightliner, but you can't beat the price. I don't think you can beat the price unless you go with the Hino or not Sterling anymore. Sterling's done. I mean, they exist, but it's hard to get parts because they're not manufactured anymore. The Hinos are like climbing the ranks. They're like the medium-duty trucks, and they're affordable. They're Japanese made, so they're a little bit more reliable. I don't know why Japanese are so good at that, but they definitely are. So what's your favorite kind of truck? Do you like the Packard? Do you like the Daimler, which is the Freightliner and Western Star? Do you like the Volvo, which is the Mack and the Volvo? Now, what's interesting about the Mack, I'll keep talking about them, is that even though they're the same company, there's secrets. The Mack division, which is headquartered here in North Carolina for America, they do not want to give away their secrets to the Volvo. And so you would think that a Volvo dump truck and a Volvo roll-off is the same as a Mack roll-off because they're the same company, but they're not. The Volvo is not as good The Mack truck does much better when you're talking about off-road, when you're talking about vocational trucks compared to the Volvo. And the Volvo is much better than a Mack truck when it comes to being over the road. Although Mack is shiny, very reliable, and I like it quite a bit. Everyone that I see online is trying to get their next truck. Do you have a dream truck? Do you have a dream fleet? Do you have a setup that you want to have? A beautiful setup that does exactly what you want. You know what? I'm just going to share my screen for what I'm looking at. I like to look at trucks online. It's super fun. And, challenge with looking at trucks is you want to buy them. You're like, how can I make this truck part of my fleet? Like, what do I have to do to make this part of my fleet? I'm just going to close everything else. Don't need that. Here we go. Come on, work. Not working. There we go. Desktop 2. Come on. Trucks, trucks, trucks. They're so cool. They're so powerful. Trucks are so powerful. This is Commercial Truck Trader. There's Iron Planet's another fun place to go to. Maybe we'll go there next. All right, so what's the most expensive truck that I can find? Can I sort by most expensive? Highest price. Most expensive roll-off. $329,000 for a brand new auto car roll-off, a DC64. I don't know what that is. Let's check out this picture. That's insane. How can a roll-off truck be worth 330 grand? I mean, I know it's brand new. Is it that pretty? It's white, so you got to put some stuff on it. What kind of setup this is? Got to be cable. Yeah, this is totally a cable setup. Can I zoom in at all? Yeah. Oh, way better to see. Yeah, that's what we care about. Look at those wheels. So it does have a drop axle, but there's no wheel. There's no tire on the drop axle. Look at that. Strange. But pretty rails. Everything's clean. I'm curious if when you have the truck in neutral, if you have the truck in drive, if you can use the hoist or if it has to be in neutral. And they got those features. I like to be always available because sometimes I want to roll back when I'm using my roll off. I don't know. What do you think? It's in New Jersey. I think that's a lot of money. Man, just 5 years ago, 200 grand got you a brand new one. Now it's 300,000. That's insane. And then you got to pay all the taxes and et cetera on top of that. Here's a Kenworth, brand new Kenworth, 2025, a T880. Gotta love the 880s. Pretty solid unit right there. And look, they're demonstrating what with this grapple thing. That doesn't make sense. Oh, is this got a combo? Does it come with a grapple? Okay, that's unique. This is the full setup. Okay, this, I can see where you get the $300,000 plus price tag if you have a grapple on there, a rotoback. But I don't know if I need one. So this is if you're going to do live loading yourself. So you drive up to a job site, you've got a whole bunch of trash they want picked up. You just hop into I don't know how you hop into this thing, but you run the machine and you load it yourself. Now, do you load it when it's on the truck? Like you keep your dumpster on the truck, or do you put the dumpster on the ground, then load everything into it? I would think that'd be easier because you don't have to lift it as high. It's a little safer, but maybe you're in a rush and you don't want to take it off the truck and then load it and then put it back on the truck. I think you take it off the truck. That's I think. A lot easier maneuver. Man, I don't see that being the way to do it. Just, oh yeah, there's the seat. You can see it right there. Elite 910. Has anyone ever used one of these before? If you've used one of these before, let me know in the comments if this is actually a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea though. I would just get an excavator separate. Because if you combine them, then you can get less use cases for it. Here's a $300,000 Peterbilt. I love the Peterbilts. Look at that beautiful, beautiful hood. It's just so large. Now, it's not aerodynamic, but you got a roll-off truck. You don't need to be aerodynamic. It's got the drop axle, which means it can handle way more weight. We're talking, high 60s, 60,000 pounds. Looks good to me. I would totally drive this. What's with the yellow white? That combo is strange. Like, why wouldn't you just have the whole thing white? Why would you have yellow on there unless that's your color? Peterbilt, Galfab. That's Galfab. I'm not familiar with Galfab. Inside looks pretty good. It's got some wood etching on it. Nice and comfy. Millions of switches. Dials are easy to read. Pack car engine. Of course, why would you get a Kenworth if you didn't have a PACCAR engine? Here's another Kenworth, 300,000. 300 grand for a truck. 300,000 for this Kenworth. This one's red. Here's another one, 300,000. 300,000 for T880. Must be the most popular right now. Here's a Peterbilt for 290. Look at that. So same company, both made by PACCAR, but the Peterbilt's got a different chassis. Similar engine. Looks very standard. No drop axle, so you're going to be low 60s with this one for how much you can haul. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It looks shiny. Everything's nice. Now look at all those taillights. They get smashed so easy. This is a cable truck. I don't see any hook lifts, but hook lifts are way more popular and way easier to use. I think they're more important for the medium duty, but if you're going to have medium duty hook lift, you're going to want heavy duty hook lift. Beautiful engine. This is a Cummins. This is not a PACCAR engine. Does PACCAR own Cummins? Are they the same company? Let's see. PACCAR versus Cummins. Packard designs and manufactures its MX engine specifically for its for its Peterbilt and Kenworth trucks, offering advantages like lighter weight, better fuel economy, but it faces criticism for maintenance issues and limited service options. I think it's a lot easier to get to these engines. I mean, in this case too, it's not a Packard, it's a Cummins, but look how easy it is to get to the engine. It's all right there. I shouldn't say it's all right there, but you can get to it. It's not like you have to jack up the truck to get to it. Cummins engines are built by an independent company. Okay, so they are separate companies still. They didn't like buy each other out. That's what I thought, but got to check. And it's known for its power, reliability, and extensive service network. Yeah, that there's a lot of places you get a Cummins engine fixed. That makes sense. So I guess if you don't know how to fix your Kenworth or your Peterbilt, then you got to bring it to a dealership just like any truck, and you're going to find less service than you would for Cummins. So, and the chassis is not as hard to fix as an engine and transmission. Like engines and transmissions, way harder to fix for a standard mechanic. Let's move on to something else. We got another Peterbilt, a 589. There's another Kenworth, a Mack Granite, my personal favorite. And I don't have a really good reason besides they're so reliable. I guess that's a good reason. Very, very reliable. Very expensive to fix though. So why I only got two of them, I didn't get a lot because they're so expensive to get a lot of them. But look at this truck. He's got beefy tires made for going on job sites. No drop axle on this one. This is a cable truck. I ran a cable truck for a Mack Granite. This looks just same look as mine. Same front. Had that gray cover. It's got the side toolbox. Yep, looks like the same truck. This is just a few years newer than the one I ran. And yep, Galfab everything looks the same. They didn't change too much. It just costs about 100 grand more than I paid for it. And I got a drop axle too. So here's the interesting thing is on mine, you could not run the PTO if you were in drive. It wouldn't let you, which is, I think, a major flaw. So there's the PTO switch you can see right there. So if you flip that on while you're in gear, like let's say you're in first gear, or let's say you're in reverse, you want to back up to the box as you're picking it up, it's not going to let you do that. It's not going to let you actually engage the PTO. The switch will flip, but it won't actually engage. And that drove me crazy. You can see the controls are digital. Very, very nice to have digital controls. And there's your e-brakes, emergency brakes. You should do your brake tests every day, every morning. You don't want to find out that your brakes don't work when you're trying to stop in a heavier load. That's my personal favorite right there. Western Star. I have not seen a Western Star roll-off in real life. I've seen plenty of Western Star over-the-road trucks, but not a roll-off truck. This is a horrible picture. Very grainy. So it's not doing the Western Star justice. There's a close-up on the grill. The grill looks very beefy. Grill, very tough. Makes the truck look even taller. Again, a cable truck. Do we have any roll-offs? Nice suspension. I got to have a lot of suspension. It's a drop axle. I guess I point the drop axle a lot, quite a bit. In case you're not aware, oh, here we go. Yeah, look at all those levers. So we've got the hoists, and you're also going to be running the tarp system with these. So it's going to hang your cable. So tough thing about roll-off cable trucks, if you don't know, is that when you're picking up a 30-yarder, you can't see the back of your truck. So you really have to get good, and do a lot of training, do a lot of pickups to get that perfect spot so that you can actually hook it up correctly. But you got your levers on the left are typically your hoist, and then the ones on the right are normally your tarp tower and your tarp arms. But yeah, you got your hoist up and down, you got your cable, got your tower, and your tarp. They made a lot of room here for your belly if you got a big belly. It isn't nice how they point the dashboard towards you. It's not flat, it's actually pointed towards the driver. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, you're by yourself. So you might as well make it so this is truly a cockpit and not just a regular truck, because the passenger's not going to be helping you anyway. Okay, here's the internal controls for the hoist and the winch. Allison transmission, reliable transmission. I'm a big fan. Just like the Cummins engine, there's a lot of opportunities to have somebody fix your Allison. You can see it in the middle right there for the transmission. $285,000. So we're getting slightly cheaper, but not much. Peterbilt 280. This is a 567. Nice and shiny. 280. Another T880. Another T880. Brand new. Price difference is going to be the features and where the heck this thing is. You know, if you're closer to a big city, it's going to be more expensive. Another T880. Lots of those. Can I jump 10. I want to go down to the 200,000 range. What does $200,000 get you? All right, go back to results. If I had 200 grand for a budget, you know what? Let's filter by price. 200 grand. Fine. I'll use mine. I'll use my zip code. I'll use it because you want it. And then nationwide. It's not letting me filter on price at all. Well, that's sad. Super sad. Oh, featured. Okay. Look at this. This is a $160,000 Mack Granite. It's got 157,000 miles on it. I think that's pretty decent. Yep, looks like a Granite. What do you guys think? Oh, it doesn't look pretty anymore. If you're gonna post it, you gotta repaint it. You can tell it's a private sale because the rails are rusted. You gotta paint those things. And oh, look at this. See the strap, the box strap is missing. Why is it missing? It got torn off. Somebody was picked up a box. They hooked the strap on there, and then when they went to drop it off, lower it down, they did not remove the strap, and so it got ripped off. Happens so fast, so easy. When you stop moving and you're gonna unload your box, get out, make sure your tarp is off, make sure that your hook straps are unhooked. Because toast, they're just ripped off in a second, and I get to spend another $50. If you rake your tarp, you're talking $1,000 at least. And you got it. How many hauls do you have to do to make up for that broken equipment? Not even worth it. Got advertisements that I don't want. This is pretty. I love the blue. Man, oh, this is a dump truck though. Not the same thing, but similar application. You're driving on job sites. This one, you're delivering soil instead of removing debris. That's just a Peterbilt picture. Yep, I love that truck. Looks good. All right. Anything else you want to see? Let me know. I'm going to stop oogling over trucks. I have a good time looking at them. It's fun. They're very expensive. Make sure you can get a return on them. I recommend you have a newer primary truck and a used backup truck. We'll go over used trucks later. I know waste hauling often feels thankless. Few people notice the bin is there unless it's full and they need to call you. But you don't get a lot of thanks for that. They just expect you to empty it. So people don't notice that the bin's not there until they need it. Scripture refrains our work. For every pickup and every route, every contract, you could treat it like an offering to God. And I'll give you this scripture to think about that. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work heartily, as if for the Lord and not for men. So do your work, enjoy your work, and do it for God. Don't do it for other people for bragging rights. I know you want to have a shiny truck to show off. Don't have a shiny truck for other people. Have a reliable truck for you to do your work so you can do it well for God. Don't try to be glamorous. Just try to be a good worker. All right, this has been Michael with Buffalo Finances, and this is Waste to Wealth. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Waste to Wealth. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you connect with us on social media and subscribe to the show wherever you consume podcasts. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review and tell a friend about the show. Until next time.